Previously, as I had mentioned, the guy with the black shorts that ran away from my niece and I up the street who did the attempted rape, the dust settles, okay, and we are still at this apartment. My sister is still reeling from all the things that have gone on, and she keeps asking me and over, why would you run? Why didn't you grab the phone? Well, just so you know, on the way out of running out of the room, he had unplugged all the phones. So he premeditated that he was going to come in and do something and there was going to be no phone. So that was in my defense. I saw that. I saw both cords out of the wall as I was running out the front door. So thank God I stuck with my plan and not listened to the person who wasn't even there, right? Even though I was babysitting her child, you know, forgive me for leaving my niece home, but it was for the greater good. And that night, around nightfall, another cousin comes over. And she says, let's go party. I know this guy. He's having a party at this Discovery Bay condo near Waikiki. And, you know, they just built the condo, super nice. And, you know, we're going to have fun and snort coke. And I'm like, at that time, I knew that it wasn't the right thing to do. And really all I wanted to do was rest and process what was going on, but not say process. Just, I wanted to come down from whatever it was that my head was spinning. And instead, I took the advice of the older cousin and we went out and we partied with these people. And I was left with the guy who looked like a frog. To this day, I can just imagine him. He was greasy and clammy, which happens when people do too much drugs. They sweat and it's mixed with an oil and it's a greasy looking feeling. And it's a sign of a drug addict or someone who's high on some kind of an upper, okay? He was tan and he owned the largest tour company to date in Hawaii. And he was bragging about this tour company with me. And there was mounds of cocaine everywhere in the apartment. So like you could go to the bathroom and in the kitchen, there was a little thing and you could just snort as much as you wanted to. And then he had it all by him. And I was just blind from what was going on that day that I just wanted to mask myself, get high, forget about it. And then this creepy dude, this president, owner, founder of the largest tour bus company in Hawaii, tells me, oh, you know, you're cute, you're so pretty, and I could tell what was next. And he leaned over, and I don't really remember what happened until my cousin, I awoke from whatever it was that went on. The cousin who brought me there was sitting forward on me with her legs facing this way. And I was completely wet and I was so cold. The AC was on. Hawaii AC's always on high. But I was wet and it was cold. And I just didn't understand what happened. And that was my first public experience amongst other people doing drugs where I had an overdose, a seizure, essentially, because seizures run in my family on one side, and that the stress will trigger it from the drugs if it's an upper, and especially if you're doing a downer like alcohol. So there was alcohol there and he was feeding me the alcohol and I said, oh, I don't really like drinking. And when he leaned over to kiss me, that was all I saw was his frog looking face. And then when I awoke with my cousin on my lap, I looked around and I didn't see Frogman. Okay, he took off. He was upset. He was scared because, of course, he owned the big tour company and there was all this cocaine. He thought I was dying or dead or I was going to be dead, right? And so she dumped 2 pitchers of ice water on me to bring me out of it. And it was then that I realized, because there was blood coming out of my mouth, and I realized that she told me I had some kind of an attack. And so I had to go to the bathroom, clean up, and we went to her regular boyfriend's house and he had me smoke weed, and she was really wigged out. I'll never forget how rattled she was from what she saw when she came out of the room when they went to get her while I was seizing.